2024 presidential election, almost all Americans say it is at least somewhat important for the president to personally live a moral and ethical life. According to new data from the Pew Research Center, 94% of all Americans hold that stance. 64% of U.S. adults say it is at least somewhat important the president stands up for people with their religious beliefs. And close to half say it's at least somewhat important that the president has strong religious beliefs. And to help us break down these numbers and more is Dr. Ryan Burge, Associate Professor of Political Science at Eastern Illinois University and creator of the Substack Graphs About Religion. Ryan, welcome back. Good to have you with us again. So what do you make of these findings by Pew? I mean, were you surprised by these numbers? And also, how does it compare to your own research?
Yeah, I think the thing is the nuns are rising. We know that. I've written 2 books about it. They're 30% of Americans today. They were only 5% of Americans in 1972. Among Generation Z, over 40% are non-religious. But despite that, Americans still think religion is a good thing. If you ask questions about religious belief, 90% of Americans still believe in God at some level. I think that comes through in this data, right? We want our president to have a faith background, to represent people of faith, to have good moral character. So even though religion is fading in some ways, we have this sort of civic culture, civic religion that's so deeply embedded in America that even if half of Americans were nuns, we would probably be very unlikely to nominate or elect an atheist or agnostic president.
Yeah, Ron, let's dig into this a little bit more. I mean, how do Biden and Trump compare when it comes to how Americans view their religious beliefs?
Yeah, so it's interesting that, most Americans think that about 60% of Americans think Biden is somewhat or very religious. Amongst Trump, it's only about 30% who think he's somewhat or very religious. But if you look at the crosstabs, so if you look at just Republicans or just Democrats, Republicans think that Trump is more religious than Biden, and Democrats think that Biden is more religious than Trump. So what religion has become is basically religious in the way that I think about religion. So if you go to church every Sunday but vote for Democrats, Republicans don't see you as religious. And the opposite is happening here. So basically what's happening is religion is being seen through the lens of partisanship. That's the master identity, and everything kind of lives downstream of, are you Republican or are you a Democrat?
Yeah, and we don't have a lot of time left, but I do want to go to this. President Biden is the second Catholic president. So wondering about us Catholics, how do Catholic voters, how did they shake out in all of this?
It's important to note that Biden goes to church more than any president in at least the last 50 years. He's gone to Mass at least 100 times. But it really comes down to white Catholics are about 60% Republicans right now, 40% Democrats. Non-white Catholics are the mirrored opposite of that. About 65% of them are Democrats and 35% are Republicans. But I think Biden's got a real problem with Hispanic Catholics right now. They were solidly in his camp, and they've been sliding slowly toward the Republican side. That really might tell the story in the 2024 election.
All right, we're going to leave right there. Ryan, always great to get your insights. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.